Hey, what is up, my friends? It's Andrew Gallegos here to talk about home equity. Holy home equity. If you are a homeowner in the United States right now, there's a very good chance that you've got some equity in your house. I just read an article this week published by Investopedia. This actually came out May 2nd, 2022. And in that article, they reported that home equity in the U.S. is at an all-time record, with the average mortgage holder now owning $185,000 in accessible home equity. That's crazy. Accessible home equity, by the way, this is home equity that you can access while still maintaining a 20% stake in the house that you own. This figure is up by 35%, or was up by 35% in 2021 compared to 2020, which is just a crazy jump. Why did that happen? Well, demand has been strong in the country for a number of years. Inventory's been low. COVID didn't help the inventory problem. It actually hurt it. You know, we saw a lot of supply chain issues and delays with materials and all that. Housing completions were slower than we would have liked. Interest rates were super low. Money was cheap. There were a lot of investors in the market. There were a lot of people that maybe, you know, they were able to qualify for a higher amount because rates were so low. That increased home values. So people have equity. Now, 2022 to 2023, we're not going to see a 35% accessible equity increase like we did in 2021. However, most of the economic reports that are coming out, most of them that I follow at least, I'll name a few of them, Black Knight, Fannie Mae, and CoreLogic, they're all predicting an increase in appreciation over the next 12 to 18 months. It's just going to be at a slower pace. I'm seeing between 3% and 10%. I agree with that. I think that's going to be the case. Homes are going to continue to appreciate. That equity isn't going to go anywhere anytime soon. So what I want to talk about today, the reason why I made this video was because we hear a lot about the move-up home buyer, right? So they bought their starter home a few years ago. They've built up a bunch of equity. Now they're ready to sell and they're ready to move up. What about the downsizing situation, or what I like to call a right-size home buyer? Let's say you've been in your house for quite a while. Maybe your kids graduated and you're looking at, you know, retiring soon, and you want a smaller house that's going to be better for you, maybe less maintenance, maybe in a different location. You've got a bunch of equity. It's worth thinking about some options around that. And if you have any questions about this, please let me know. I'm happy to crunch numbers for anybody. You know, that's a big part of being a mortgage professional, is helping people just understand what their options are so that they can make the best decisions for themselves. But let's use a generic example. Let's say you've got $500,000 in equity in the house that you own. Let's say you sell your house, because that's going to get you the most amount of equity that you can if you sell. Obviously, there's other ways to access the equity: cash out refinance, home equity line of credit. You can look at like a reverse mortgage option as well. But if you sell your house, you're going to get the max amount of equity, and you're going to have a lot of flexibility to use that equity in the amount that, or in the way that fits you best. Now, let's say you take the $500,000. Let's say you use $250,000, or you set aside $250,000 for a down payment on your downsize, your right size property. So that leaves you $250,000 left over. I'm going to talk about that in a second. First of all, the $250,000 that you use for the down payment on the next property, that's a big chunk for a down payment. It might surprise you, even though rates are a little bit higher, it might surprise you. You might have a monthly mortgage payment in line with what you're currently paying on the new property, even though home values are up, and even though, like I said, rates are a little bit higher. $250,000 is a good chunk for a down payment. That leaves you with another $250,000 left over. What if you, or maybe you have some credit card debt, maybe you have some auto loans, maybe you have recreational merchandise. You know, take that $50,000, pay that off. Even if your mortgage payment on the new place that you bought is higher than the current payment that you're currently paying, maybe kicking out some other debt is going to put your total monthly cash flow in a better position. So set aside $50,000 for that. Then take the $200,000 and invest that in the stock market, or obviously, you know, work with a financial planner. I know a lot of them. Work with a financial planner that can help you understand, or your financial planner that can help you understand the best way to utilize that $200,000. From what I understand, and I'm not a financial planner, from what I understand, 7% rate of return is conservative. If you invest $200,000 with a financial planner at a 7% rate of return, I was just messing around with a financial calculator here earlier. That's going to turn that $200,000 into $569,000 in the span of the next 15 years. So Great way to use that equity to work in your advantage and to make money on itself while also paying off your other debt and then putting a large down payment down on a new property. So again, just something else to think about. If you have any questions about how you can use your equity to put you in the best position, again, please reach out to me. I'd love to help. Thank you for your time, and looking forward to seeing you on my next video. Thanks.